I had become friends with this short, little, hilarious Southern gay actor comedian guy named Leslie Jordan, who kind of blew up all over Instagram. Y'all remember Leslie, right? And anyway, later in the summer of 2020, he started going to my buddy Travis's house and dropping a gospel song every Sunday afternoon. They called it Sunday Hymn Singing. And it would be like these old, when we all get to heaven, when the roll is called up yonder, all the songs our grandparents sang. And but Leslie loved those songs, and although as this kind of bullied short little gay guy from East Tennessee, he had a complicated relationship with the Southern Baptist Church in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But something about those songs kind of took him back and made him miss his mama and all that stuff. And anyway, this became so big. Leslie, for those of you who don't know, he went from in February of 2020, went from 50,000 Instagram followers to 6 million by June. And it was one of the fastest to 5 million. And by the end of the summer, we were like, hey, why don't we go in and make a gospel record? And we'll kind of reimagine all these songs. And he's like, well, you know what? I'll just invite some of my friends that I've hooked up with on Instagram to come sing on it. And so we're like, well, who? He goes, well, Tanya Tucker had kind of hit me up one night. And, I asked her, she told me, if you ever make any music, I'd love to sing with you. And so he said, I think I'll call her. And so we're like, well, give her a shout, She'll say, have your people call my people, Anyway, so he reaches out and he calls us a couple of days later and goes, you're not going to believe this, but Tanya Tucker says she would love to sing on the record. And by the way, I don't know if you know my producer, Brandy Carlisle, but she loves you. She said she would sing on the record. So we're like, that's amazing. So he's like, well, should I ask anybody else? We're like, hell yes, you're 2 for 2. Ask everybody. So this is no kidding. He calls us 2 weeks later and he goes, well, you're not going to believe this, but Chris and Morgan Stapleton said they would sing on the record. Dolly Parton said she would sing on the record. Ashley McBride said she would sing on the record. TJ Osborne from the Brothers Osborne. So in the middle of this lockdown, we're getting to go in and make this gospel record. And right before we're done, Leslie's partner comes up and he goes, so this is super random, but I've become really good friends with Eddie Vedder. And so he goes, I think I could get Eddie to sing on this record. So I'm like, that's amazing. What's Eddie's favorite gospel song? Hello? And he's like, well, I don't think he knows any gospel songs. And so I'm like, well, that's problematic being that we're making a gospel record, right? So he goes, well, we got to figure out something, if we could pitch him something to sing. So I did what any songwriter would do. I started kind of diving into post-Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, and seeing what he's doing. So I grabbed a ukulele, and every morning I get up and I start working on these songs. And one morning I had this idea hit me that felt like some of these old gospel songs I grew up with. And so I wrote this, and me and my co-producer, Travis Howard, reworked a little bit, and we ended up sending this to Eddie Vedder through our buddy Mike. So one Friday night, we're sitting on the couch, and sorry for the long story. I hope you guys aren't uncomfortable in your nice little hot springs while I'm telling the story. So anyway, one Friday night, Netflix, we're doing the same thing everybody's doing in the lockdown. We're drinking way too much. We're watching Netflix on a Friday night, and I get a text message, and it's from Mike, and it's a screenshot of Jill Vedder, Eddie Vedder's wife, and it says, hey, I just want you to know that Eddie is laying on his back in his studio playing ukulele and practicing your song. I thought that's pretty wild, right? And so he asked for our recording session to go work in it a little bit, and about 2 weeks later, Friday night, sofa, Netflix, drunk, lockdown, you know the whole story. I get this text message, and all it is a Dropbox that says Eddie Vedder Master, and we turn it on and sit there and cry while she's drinking wine. I'm drinking whiskey, listening to my Eddie Vedder gospel cut, which I never thought I would say, but this is a song I wrote for Eddie Vedder, and obviously I can't sing this without thinking of Leslie Jordan, who passed away last October, so we'll sing this up to him. It's called The One Who Hideth Me. It goes like this. When the storms of life surround me, when the sky turns gray, when my heart feels lost and lonely, and I'm so afraid, I will lay me down beneath that old magnolia tree, safely sheltered in the arms of the one who hideth me. have been few, but ne'er a storm shall overcome the sweet, soft voice of you. I will lay me down beneath that old magnolia tree, safely sheltered in the arms of the one who hideth me. When my life is wrought with shadows, when the world turns dark, when my time on earth is ending, I'll know where you are. And I will lay me down beneath that old magnolia tree, safely sheltered in the arms of the one who hideth me, safely sheltered in the arms of the one who hideth me. You're the one who hideth me. Thank you. Southern Gospel on a sunny night in Durango.